Hey guys, Mouse here. So, a lot of you guys have been asking me about this blessing stone. I finally got the chance to get one. I actually already finished my testing here, and I'm gonna do a retest on this video just so you guys can also see that and also as confirmation. But I already know how it works and I already know its potential. And in this video, let's try to compare it as well with other blessing stones. Let's try to analyze where and why you should use it and some of the things, the pros and cons of this. So let's start with this. I already set up my character for the testing. So we got 37k attack. Also remove some of the set effects that might affect the damage just so we can close into that blessing stone alone. So for the stats allocation, I added here 200 intelligence. Although you don't need 200 intelligence because you only need like maximum of 700. So 700 divided by 4, that's the amount that you're looking for. But for legendary, it's gonna be, I believe, 200. Where is it? There you go. Yeah, for legendary, it's gonna be 200. And perception 20 here. As you can see, precision is 81%. So you might be wondering, oh, how are you gonna do the test with only 81.76% precision or 12.6k stat precision? Well, we already have the formula on this and how it is going to be affected by the monster level, and we're going to do the test on the bear. So here's a document here. I'll probably gonna just link this in the description as well. This is from BRRRR, which is the SLA formulary, some of the formulas that has already been derived. This has already been confirmed for the most part. So precision stat here, this formula works at 100% above CP, meaning you're at least equal or above the recommended total power of the monster. And then you just put it here. To use this, you can just put the monster level here. So we're gonna test on floor 25 of the battlefield of trial. So that's level 52 bear, and we just need 12,500 precision stat to get 100.02% precision. Before we begin with the test, let's start with the basics of how attack works and how basic attack works. So I have already confirmed that it is similar to this basic attack from the strength, from the weapons, as well as the default base attack of Sung Jinwoo. So basic attack is different from additional attack. So it's gonna be different here. They are totally unrelated. You can check it here. This is additional attack, as you can see, 9607. If you go here, it's attack 5k. So those are different things. So there are multiple types of attack here in this game. So one is that basic attack, again, that's from the weapons, from the stats, from the default, and the additional attack, these are from the artifacts, from cores, from gems. This is just going to be added to whatever you have here in your stats. So if you add 1,000 additional attack, this is just going to be 38,427. And the percentage here is different from the passive. So these are artifact percentage. This 116.82% is going to be multiplied to the base attack. And the passive ones here, like for example, the dimensional advancements of the weapons are going to be different as well. Yep. So this is like 15% similar to the buff of Maylin, for example, similar to the expert set stacks, for example. So this is only going to be computed once you enter the battle, and it's going to be multiplied to whatever final result you have here from this window. And of course, it's going to be different now because there are going to be hidden base attack or attack now from this. If you change it to this, you're not going to see that. And there are also buffs from the guild boss, and there are also from the remnants. So it's kind of complicated right now, but I'm going to explain it to you guys so that you guys would also understand it and also be able to compute it on your own, just in case you need it. So the simplest way that I could explain it to you guys is that once you reach this, for example, this is 700 basic attack. Okay, the only thing that you need to do here is to multiply it to your attack percentage from your artifacts, which is going to be 116.82%, plus your gems 18.40, plus your cores. So I don't have that in the cores, but that's how it's gonna work at least. So here 18.40 plus 116.8, so that's gonna be 135.22%. It's very simple actually. All you have to do if you want to get the damage output of this is to add all your attack percentage here from all of these, from gem scores, and then if we get 700 here, we multiply that. So if we compute this, then we're gonna get 1646.44. so this is gonna be the total attack that you're gonna get from that blessing stone. So if you have like the 1200 legendary, you're gonna get 2822 attack. Our actual attack right now is gonna be 37427 plus that value. So as you can see here, I just added it, the status window 37427 and 1646.54. So essentially we just have to add this and we're gonna get the total attack, the total actual attack that we have before entering the battle. But in this case, we're not gonna do that because my character right now also has buff, which is the Trinity Force here, that gives us additional 300 attack. So I already tested this as well, and this is not the same as base attack. That attack is essentially just additional 300 here, so it's like additional attack. So the actual value here, it's not shown here as well, is gonna be 37427 plus 300. So for the sake of testing, that's what we're gonna use. So we're gonna have 3973.54. So since attack is like the basis of all damage for the most part, it's gonna be like the basis of the multiplier, except for some skills, for example, that gets the defense as well. But for the most part, it's gonna be attack. So the moment this changes, it's gonna be a direct damage change according to how much percentage it increased. So for example, here 37727 to 39373 is gonna be a 4.36% damage increase. So for this testing, we're gonna follow this and see if the damage will match. So I'm gonna remove this blessing stone first, change it to this just so that we won't mess up the TP, and then we're gonna go to Battlefields of Trial, floor 25. So we're not gonna use anything else, nothing, we're not gonna proc anything, and doesn't matter because we're just gonna get the non-crit damage. So let's just try to get 3 instances of damage just to be sure. Let's wait for the amplifying draw to disappear. That's 2213.979. Let's not press the space bar. I should have removed the plum sword actually. 2213.739. It's already pretty stable. So let's just get 1 instance of damage. Okay, so we already confirmed that the precision works accurately here. We got 99%. So I just listed them here. Let's just get the average of these 3. Okay, so that's the 221, and then I'll just remove these ones. So now we're gonna add the Intuit blessing stone. Again, we are expecting that we will have 4.36% actual damage increase. Don't crit. 2313821. Okay, apologies for the presentation here. I'm kind of short on time. So 221551, the no Intuit increased to 231 blah blah blah. That's gonna be 4.44% damage increase. Of course, it's not always gonna be similar because there's gonna be some inconsistencies there. The 1% precision is gonna take effect as well. So now let's say you're gonna have the 1200 attack. So let's just change this. I think there you go. You're gonna get 7.48% estimated final. Okay, this is final damage increase. Let's say for example you have more attack percentage, or using an attack percentage course or gems. So the more attack percentage you have, the more effective it's gonna be. That doesn't mean that you're gonna have to like get more attack percentage instead of additional attack. So this is just an example of what is gonna be happening. So in my case, I'm gonna get the 4.36% actual damage increase. No matter what happens, this is what I'm going to get. Even if I add multipliers, that's gonna be consistent. Just to show you that, let's add some damage multipliers here. So probably we can use the bloodlust, but it won't have much effect here because the defense of the bear is very very small, so we won't see much difference when we use bloodlust here. Even shadow step won't result to a huge damage increase. But anyway, let's just do it just for confirmation. Let's just do the test again. So I'm gonna remove the Intuit first. Okay, it should be fine. Oops, it dodged. What the fuck? Fucking shit. Alright, here we go. 3099514. So now let's try this with the Intuit Blessing Stone. The 2-piece. Okay, this is good. 3231576. So here's the result. 4.26%. Still pretty close. Okay, all of them pretty close. I think that's still within the range that we're looking for. So now let's try to compare it with some other blessing stones here. Probably let's just use the double-edged sword. But do remember though that this test, it's not gonna be like individual one-to-one testing is not gonna be ideal because all of these are computed differently. For example, this attack percent is similar to the passive percent that you're gonna get from your dimensional advancements, from the buffs of other units once you go inside, expert stacks, things like those. So the value of these is gonna be much lower once you stack a lot of those. And some of these are additive to, for example, the damage increase from the curse set, from the stats. So the main difference of the Intuit Blessing Stone is gonna be because it's adding to the actual attack that you're gonna have, which means if you add this and keep on multiplying some damage multipliers to it, you're gonna benefit a lot from that. For example, you get from the blessing set, you're gonna get something from other buffs, curse set, like if you're using obsidians. So one-to-one testing is not gonna be ideal. It's not gonna show you whether to use it or not, and it's also gonna be case-to-case basis depending on what stats you have, what stage of the game you are already in, like how much attack or attack percent that you already have, what level is Sung Jinwoo. So that's going to be different on a case-to-case basis. Just for comparison's sake, although this is purple, we already got the damage earlier without it. Let's just test how much damage we're gonna deal if we use the 4 stacks of double-edged sword. But if you don't have any attack percentage, like for example, you don't have dimensional advancements, you're not using experts, that you don't have buffs or passives from anywhere, then it's gonna be like you added like a final damage output. All right. So we got 4 double-edged sword now, which is gonna be 2501,061. So again, the no Intuit. From the double-edged sword, we actually got a 12.89% actual damage output. But again, that is not to say that double-edged sword is automatically better. And the reason why it's not exactly 16% is that my character has the passive percentages from other stuff. But still, since we're comparing legendary to heroic, and it's not gonna be a fair comparison. So if we edit something here, let's just make it like 1-2 from actual 1, we're gonna get 7.48%. But do remember though that if you use Intuit here, you are adding intelligence, meaning, for example, we have 200 into for the legendary version, we're gonna get some cooldown reduction from that as well. Meaning even if we had lower damage or lower actual damage, but it's not gonna be lower always, we're getting more skill cast from the cooldown reduction. And also, for example, we have an Intuit here, and we added the attack here, the way it works again. It's not just shown here, but that's how it works. If we add multipliers like 16% attack, so that 16% attack is gonna be based off of these as well. So the same goes with other damage multipliers. Actually, very hard to know which blessing stones to use in these cases because it's so situational. Like, how fast can you actually stack the expert sets? At what time can you stack the expert sets in which the value of this is gonna be much higher than the double-edged sword in a particular battle, things like those. So how much buffs are you receiving, damage increase buffs or elemental damage buffs are you actually receiving or inflicting towards the enemy in such a way that they are gonna be diminished as well. But again, the key thing here is that it adds directly to your stats attack here, to what you have, the total one you have here. There is a hidden 300 again from the guild boss, and there is a hidden 700. In this case, 700 times all the percentage that you have here. All right, so at least for now, what I can tell you guys is this is actually good. The value of the Intuit, if you put 200 intelligence, is going to be higher than the 200 strength that you're gonna add here. Okay, so I think in that case it's still worth it, and the fact that it's gonna be like the main basis of damage, where every other multiplier, like damage increase, like penetration, elemental damage, and even the passive attack percent dimensional from dimensional advancements and expert sets and buffs of other units are gonna be multiplied to it. Thank you so much again for watching, and see you on the next one.